Hey guys, it's Steph and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all good. In today's video, we are trying out new collection makeup. Look at this. Where was I? I finished Pilates because I'm a fitness girl now. Absolutely not. But I finished Pilates, went to Superdrug. This story doesn't really mean anything. Went and got some purple shampoo and I saw Collection had a whole load of new products that I had heard nothing about, so I picked up all of them. And I pretty much have a full face, so we're gonna try it out today, see if it's any good, and that's kind of how we do things around here. Let's get into it. So I have two different brow gels. One of them was actually free when you spent enough money on Collection or whatever. This is just the Color Lash Brow and Lash Gel thing. But I also have the Vitamin Fix Brow Gel. They don't really look that different. Like the packaging's the same, one of them's just orange, but I'm gonna go for the new one. It says it fixes brows in place with vitamin C and peptides, promotes healthy brow growth. Yeah, why do I always have to smell things? It doesn't smell of anything, but as you can tell, I'm in a little bit of a rush today, but we're still gonna give everything a go. Oh my God, I need a headband. You can tell I'm in a bit of a rush today because I haven't even put my headband on. Let's do the cat ears. Boop, that'll do. So let's slick these babies down. It actually feels like it could be kind of good at slicking them down. It's obviously not like a gluish sort of formula, but it does seem to have a bit more grip than other brow gels I tend to use. I'm just gonna press them down onto my face. Yeah, that actually seems like it's probably gonna keep them in place a little bit. Cool. Normally when I see these sort of like brow gels that basically come with just like a standard mascara wand, I'm like, is it gonna be any good? But actually, I feel like this one actually is gonna have a bit of like staying power to it because it does seem to be slicking my brows down a bit. Okay, not too bad actually. Kind of rate that. So next I'm gonna go in with this eyeshadow palette because I wanna do my eyes first because obviously I'm doing kind of like a smoky eye sort of situation. This is called the Skyline eye palette. This is the New York one. They had like loads of different cities and different colors and stuff, but I'm gonna prime my eyes with a little bit of P. Louise base first. And I'm kind of thinking I'm just gonna do like a really grey toned, like shimmery eye look. So I'm gonna start off with a little bit of this shade first, just as my transition. And I'm just gonna pop that in my crease. But I'm mostly gonna chuck like probably one of these two colors here all over my lid basically, and then just pop a shimmer on top. Just something really, really simple. Whenever I'm doing a sort of cool tone smoky eye, I always like to put a slightly warmer tone in my crease just to kind of like balance it out a little bit. I mean, you can't really see too much there, but it is also a very kind of like nearly my skin sort of color. So, but it has defined my crease a little bit. I'm now gonna go in with this flat brush here, and I think I'm actually gonna take this shade. No, I'm gonna start with this shade, and then if I need to deepen it up a little bit more, then I will go in with the other one. And I'm literally gonna pop that all over my lid. That's actually a really good gray color. You would think that a grey was quite easy to do, but they can normally be quite like sheer and a little bit patchy, but this one's actually really, really good. Like it's coming out the exact color that it is in the pan. That's actually dope, to be fair. That's a really good color. I love cool tones, as you guys know. I really like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this shade here. It's a slightly darker one, and I'm just gonna pop that on my outer corner just to give it a little bit of definition. Oh yes, I love these tones. I know it's literally like a gray. It's like a dark gray, a light gray, kind of more warm tone gray, whatever it is. This is actually really, really nice. There's loads of palettes at the moment that are coming out that are like all cool tones, which I am loving. But this one's obviously super cheap and pigmented. And yeah, okay, I'm very, very impressed so far. So now that's all laid down, I'm gonna go back in with the first shade that I used. So this one here, and just blend all the corners out. Just really start to smoke it out. There's actually no fallout with this either. I'm really into this palette. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this like silvery, kind of like steel tone shade, and I think I'm gonna apply it using my finger. So it looks like this, and I'm gonna pop that right in the center. Meh, nothing's happening. It's more of like a glitter. But I wanted a full-on shimmer. Okay, let me try it with a flat brush. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I hate doing this because I feel like it just adds an extra step and it is kind of unnecessary. But I'm gonna wet the same brush that I was using before and just pick a little bit of that up. Okay, that's better. It is more of a glitter. I'm not the biggest fan of this, to be honest. Like, I mean, if you want a glitter, then obviously that's fine. But I do just wish it was more pigmented. Like the matte's good, but the shimmer, not so much. Okay, I'm gonna go do the other eyeball and then we'll move on to the base. Okay, eyeballs are done for a minute, so now we're gonna move on to the base. So I have this primer here. This is called the Vitamin Fix Cooling Primer. Like most of the products that I'm using today are from like the Vitamin Fix range. And it says it gives you an instant cooling effect. It is hot outside today, so I'm keen for that. Okay, this one actually does have a scent. Don't know what it is. It's like kind of minty, kind of fruity, not really sure, but it's like this weird green color, kind of looks like toothpaste. What is that? Let's see. Is it cooling? Oh, it actually kind of is, you know. Like very, very subtly. It just feels really moisturizing, actually. I thought it was gonna maybe be more of like a gel primer, but it's actually really, really hydrating. Nice. Like, it's like really like oily feeling almost, but not in a bad way. So now I'm gonna go in with concealer because I have one of their powder foundations to try. So I'm gonna go in with concealer first. This isn't a new one. They didn't have like a new concealer that I could see, but this is the Lasting Perfection concealer, which if you've been around on YouTube for a while, you'll know that this is like an OG. Everyone used to rave about this. I remember it was like Zoella, I think, that first got me using this like years and years and years ago. So I'm gonna do some concealing where I need it the most, and then I'm gonna go in with that powder foundation in a bit. Tiny dot on my nose, just because my nose is a little bit burnt. It's been a while since I used this stuff, but I used to love it. You can see it gives insane coverage. Like for a drugstore concealer, this gives mental coverage. It's actually blending out really nicely with the primer as well. Okay, so I've blended out all the concealer. Now, I'm trying to figure out the best like way to do this because I have a lot of cream products to try out, but I also have their powder foundation. So what I think I'm gonna do is go in with their cream bronzer first to see if it'll just like sculpt me out a little bit, and then apply the powder foundation, and then go in with, basically they have these like Charlotte Tilbury dupes that like everyone's coming out with at the moment, and I am living for it. So I'm gonna try them on that after. So fingers crossed this will work, but I'm going in with the cream bronzer in the shade number, I have no idea. Shade number 1. Okay, we'll pretend that I never did any of that. And it looks like it's gonna be a potential dupe for the Chanel cream bronzer. And then I'll blend it all out again in a second. And then I'm just gonna blend it out with my buffing brush again. Just kind of like stipple it in. Does seem like quite sheer. Like you can obviously see it is adding like a bit of color to my skin, but I was hoping it would maybe be a bit more pigmented. But like, I can always add more. I just wanted to make sure I did this before I did powder foundation, just in case it really didn't work over the top of the powder foundation. To be fair, like that in itself with the concealer, it actually looks kind of good. Seems to blend out quite nicely as well. So now the bit that I am most nervous for is the powder foundation, because as you guys know, I'm not normally a powder foundation kind of girl. I use the most minimal amount of powder like day to day normally. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but this is called the Lasting Perfection Buildable Powder Foundation. And I got it in the shade Biscuit 7. Is there a little puff that comes with it? It looks like there's supposed to, but this one doesn't seem to want to open. Is there a puff? I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying it with a big fluffy brush. And I do have a loose powder to try out. If I don't get too much powder like all over my face, then I will try the loose powder like under my eyes and everything. But for now, I'm just gonna use this like all over my face. And we'll just see how this looks. It doesn't actually look too bad so far. I don't like matte foundations or powder foundations, but actually this looks pretty good on my skin, as you can see. It's like adding a little bit of coverage. I'm sure if I used like an actual like pressed puff or something, then it would give me more coverage. But obviously I've already got concealer on and everything. But it's mattified me down, matte, shiny, and it's giving me like a little bit of coverage, and it doesn't look cakey or overly dry or anything. Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. I'm actually quite impressed by that. It's not gonna be something that I use all the time. Like I'm not about to become a powder foundation convert, but I'm actually not hating that at all. Like, can you see? It actually looks really good. It's still giving me a nice little bit of a sheen to my skin. It's not fully mattifying me down. My nose is a little bit dry at the moment, so like there's gonna be a bit more texture around there anyway. That actually looks okay. I'm gonna take a tiny bit and go down my nose. Yeah, you can see where my nose got a little bit burnt the other day. It is a little bit more dry, like around here. So there is a little bit of texture here. But I'm finding that with like my usual concealers and foundations anyway. But that actually looks pretty good. Okay, I actually don't mind that. That's one of the better like powder foundations that I've used. So now, like I said, I'm gonna go in with this loose powder. Obviously, I'm not gonna be putting it all over my face because I might look like a crusty biatch that way, but I am gonna put it under my eyes. And this is called the Vitamin Fix Blurring Setting Powder. Oh, it's got like one of those little cushions. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's got one of those little cushions. Boing, boing, boing. This seems like insanely finely milled. I'm just gonna set my under eyes with this. I can literally see the powder like going everywhere. Like it's actually one of the most finely milled powders I've probably come across. I mean, this concealer is quite matte anyway, so I don't want to put too much on. And it is giving me a little bit of creasing. I'm very curious about this. Like, I want to try this out with one of my more like hydrating concealers because it actually feels really, really lightweight and nice. Quite impressed by that. This is not normally the sort of like combo that I would use in a sense of like a matte concealer, a powder foundation, and then like a cream bronzer underneath because obviously I don't want to like disturb everything, but I'm not hating it, which is actually really good. There's definitely a few products here that I'm like, I would definitely use this with one of my normal foundations. I would use this. I would use like all of them, to be honest, but like individually. Maybe not together, but even together, it's still kind of working. So I'm not mad about it. Next, I'm gonna use the Powder Kiwi Bronzer. This is actually the lighter one, believe it or not, but I don't know, I feel like it's maybe gonna be a bit too dark for me, so I don't wanna use too much. Maybe not. Okay, I'll try a little bit just to see what this can do. Maybe give me a little bit of structure to my face. It's like a little bit more red toned than I would normally go for. But the other one that I saw was like even more red toned. I feel like this has potential to look a little bit muddy. Yeah, not sure if I'm overly keen on this. Yeah, I feel like I'm only using the tiniest amount, but it is looking a little bit muddy. So I'm just gonna pat that in with my brush from before that I use in my concealer just to kind of like blot it down a bit. Yeah, not sure I'm the biggest fan of this. If this is your tone, might work for you. Not sure I'd be reaching for that too often because I don't know, I just feel like it's just made me look a little bit more bronze, but also a little bit more muddy. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think. So now I'm not really sure what to use here because I have two powder products. I have a powder highlight and a powder blush, but then I also have like some Charlotte Tilbury dupes here. So I've got like a liquid blush and then a liquid highlighter. I'll swatch them, but what I might do is use the powder blusher and use the liquid highlight because I feel like I can probably get away with that a little bit more. Oh, to be honest, this kind of just more so looks like a blush topper than anything else, if you guys can see that there. It's quite shimmery. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this powder blusher first. This one's in the shade Pomelo 2. I'm just gonna add a little pop of color to my cheeks with this. It's actually quite pigmented actually. I literally like tapped my brush on there and you can see the difference. That looks quite nice. I would use that again. I'm always trying to use it to like warm me up a little bit as well. Tiny bit across my nose. May as well roll with the whole burnt nose thing, even though I covered it up with concealer a second ago. Yeah, I definitely prefer that to the bronzer. That looks way better. Okay, I'm now gonna try out the strobe light liquid highlighter stick thing. It's called the Filter Finish Liquid Highlight Wand, and I got it in the shade 1 Strobe Light. So these are obviously supposed to be like a dupe of Charlotte Tilbury. And they've got the little squeezy tube with the little puff on the end. And that's just what it looks like there. So it looks good. I'm gonna do a couple of dots on my cheeks. And then I'm actually gonna go back in with the brush that I used to blend out my concealer just because it's got some more like wet product on there. And just tap that in. Ooh, that's pretty. It's quite subtle, but like when it hits the light, you can see it. Can't really see much right now. When it hits the light, hello there, sir. Welcome. I bet you could build these up loads as well. That's actually really nice. Yeah, that looks banging. Doesn't seem to dry down too quickly either, so I do have like a little bit of playtime. And the best bit is it's not interfering with like the powder or anything, to be honest. Really like this. Okay, so now I have the Diamond Shine highlighter in the shade Shine Bright. Now this is obviously supposed to be a dupe of like the Fenty highlighter, which I'm not really a fan of. I'm not talking about their like freestyle highlighters. I mean like their really glittery one. But I figured like I have to try it because I know some of you love that stuff. So if I can find you a more affordable dupe, then that's what I'm here for. Okay, super glittery. But we already knew that. It's got kind of like a cream, almost like feeling to it. I'm gonna take a tiny bit and just pop that like right at the high points of my cheeks. Yeah, it's super glittery, which isn't my thing for a highlighter, but to be honest, I would say there's like barely any difference between this and the Fenty one. You can see on my cheek here just how glittery it is. So again, I'm just gonna lightly pat that in. I'm gonna take a little bit of the shimmery stuff and just pop it on my inner corner because I feel like that might look quite nice. It's just like a clear glitter, really. Like I wish there was a little bit more pigment behind it so there was like, it showed a bit more behind the highlighter, if that makes sense. It's literally like, there's no color to it or anything, it's basically just glitter. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of like the Charlotte Tilbury dupe highlighter and just pop that on my brow bone. Definitely prefer this as a highlighter. So next I have another one of their Vitamin Fix setting sprays. This is literally just called that, Vitamin Fix setting spray. It's infused with vitamin C, which is known to help brighten skin. That went in my eyeball then. Oh my God. The spray's like trying to attack me. Oh, it smells really good. It smells like orange sweets. Oh, I'm so into that smell. Oh my God, it smells like orange squash. That's really good. I would drink that. It's been a while. Guys, it's been a while. Don't know. Tastes like when you eat orange peel. Don't eat it. But it's been a while since I did that, and I know some of you enjoy it when I eat makeup. But anyway, let's let that settle down for a second. While I'm waiting for my skin to settle down a bit before I go in with mascara, I'm gonna go in with my lips. So I decided to choose a little bit of a bold red color because I thought it might work with like the kind of smoky eye. So this is another one of their new products. It's called the Matte Liquid Lip Paint and I got it in the shade Overachiever number 4. Whoa. That looks even brighter like on my lips than it does in the tube. It's got a nice doe foot as well. It's got one of those like teardrop doe foot, which I really, really like. That's really opaque. I feel like this might be like, it's really opaque, as you can see, the color is super intense, but I feel like if you want the actual like vibrant red color, you might need to go in with 2 layers. Because when you apply it like that, it's more of like a true red color, but when you only apply like a thin layer, it does seem to be almost like a little bit more pinky. Yeah, that's better. Okay, just need to wait until that dries down a little bit. So while I wait for that, I'm now gonna go in with mascara, and the mascara that I have is called the Elevate-a-Lash Lift Mascara. So the wand of this is a plasticky one. You can see it's kind of like an hourglass sort of shape. Let's see. Give it a good old wiggle. Nice. Ooh, it's definitely giving me length and a nice lift. It's not like thickening my lashes that much, but it's doing what it says in the tin, which is giving it length. I actually really like the shape of mascara wand. I feel like they just like get into all the little crevices. Yeah, can you guys see? Let's do a little zoom in quickly. Look how long it's made my lashes look. Nice. Oh yeah. Okay, gonna do a tiny bit on my lower lashes, just because I feel like they're looking a little bit naked at the moment. All right, guys, so this is the finished look, and I'm really sorry that this video has maybe been a bit chaotic and a bit of a rush, but I have to be out the house in about 13 minutes. I'm going out for a spa day, so this has all got to come off in a second, but I will try out the powder foundation again, maybe like tomorrow or over the next few days, and let you guys know in the comments how everything wore. If I had enough time, I'm sure I would add some sort of like wing liner, fill in my brows a bit more, add some lashes, fake freckles, whatever it is that I normally do, but as it stands, with everything being collection, I'm actually really impressed. Like, there's only a few products I wasn't overly keen on, which was the bronzer and then also this highlighter here. It's not that it's necessarily bad, it's just not my sort of thing, but it is very, very similar to the Fenty one, but I don't really like that one either. I would have to say my favorite products for today were the eyeshadow palette. Really, really like that. I actually really like the loose powder as well. And just because the smell makes me feel healthy, I actually really like the setting spray as well. It set down really nicely, gave my skin a little bit of a glow, feels like absolutely nothing on my skin and smells bloody great. So I'd say those are my favorites today, but I did also like pretty much everything, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think of this makeup look in the comment section down below. And obviously everything that I used today will be linked down below, and it'll also be on my YouTube shop function, which you can find somewhere on the screen right now. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it here because like I said, I have to be at the house in a minute, and I've got a really, really hard day of sitting by the pool, sitting in a sauna, sitting in a steam room and getting a massage. Poor me. So I'm gonna go in, take all this makeup off, get myself ready, and if anyone needs me, I'll be by the pool, probably getting like mildly drunk in the sun and probably burned. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more of me, because I upload, say it with me, all the damn time. But apart from that, guys, that is it from me. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hoping I don't have lipstick on my teeth again. We're good.